So when I was homeless, I had my son living with his paternal grandma from Monday to Friday afternoon. And then on Friday, I would pick him up and I would take him to a motel room that I virtually would have done anything to make sure I had. And there was one Sunday afternoon, I'd taken him back and came back to the motel room, grabbed a book I was reading. It was called Bad Love, ironically, and took the book to a park and sat on a bench and started reading. I didn't want to be bothered at all, so when I saw this gentleman off in the distance making his way toward me, I was not very happy about it. And so when this gentleman came up and he looked at me and he said, "Hey, I got a case of that book back in my place," I think my response to him included a gesture that wasn't very ladylike and a few words that definitely were not. And the look on his face when he heard me say that and let loose on him, he almost went white. I mean, he absolutely turned me hysterical, the way he reacted to me. And he said, "Look, lady, I'm so sorry. Look, I work at the convention center. I just did a book show. I swear to you, I have a case of that book back at my place." And I just found him so, I don't know, adorable. And it wasn't long before I found myself pouring my entire story out to this complete stranger. And I hadn't done that, I realized, in over 3 years. And this man heard every word I said. And so I finished my story and we parted ways. He went his way, I went back to my motel room. And next morning, 11 a.m., knock on the door. I figure it's the front desk coming to tell me it was time to go. And here I open the door and there is this stranger. And he looks me in the eye. And he says, "Janae, you just don't belong out there." And the way that he said that to me, I took a moment, I tried to compose myself. So he says to me, "Look, I don't have much. I live in a tiny little converted garage. There's one teeny little bedroom that I can let you and your son have, and I promise I'll move into the living room and you will be safe there. And it'll just give you some time for you and your son to be together and for you to get back on your feet." And for whatever reason, where I was in my journey at that time, I think I just kind of threw up my hands and said, what else could happen? And I put that man through chaos for the next 3 years because I just believed that eventually he too would come to find something wrong with me. He would throw me to the wolves and that would be the end of it, and I would start another journey of whatever. And this man who had no experience working with somebody with so much hurt somehow just had it in him to let the small stuff slide and just show me, well, really my first experience ever of unconditional love. And I believe that he prepared me for the love of Jesus, because without that experience, that tangible experience of somebody who loved me no matter what, with all of my faults and all of my anger and all of my hurt and my grief and all of it, he just never, ever gave up. It takes a very special person. It takes a very special person. And that's my Pat. Pat, honey, without you, none of this ever would have happened. There would be no Grandma's House of Hope. There would never have been my mother's recovery and her love. There would never have been our child, Cal. There never would have been healing and hope in my life. And we all in this room owe it to you. Everybody who's ever walked through the door of Grandma's House of Hope, every child who's ever been fed through Nana's Kids, every family that's ever enjoyed a safe holiday, we all owe it to you, honey. I love you. God bless you.